Here we are again for the end, my friend. This is season 4 of Insecure, episode 10, the finale episode, Lowkey lost. The whole episode, I just kept saying, oh, poor Issa, poor Molly, poor Derek, oh, poor Tiffany. It was just a roller coaster of emotions. It was such an emotionally evoking episode. Damn, y'all. But it was good. Well written. First of all, I want to talk about something. I have been raving about the acting on Insecure, especially with like the lesser needed roles, you know, the people around the main characters. And I was looking the other day and I saw someone post on Facebook that the acting on Insecure was horrible. Drop down in the comments. I totally disagree. Let me know what y'all think. I do not think that the acting on Insecure is horrible at all, whatsoever. But I mean, opinions and preferences are for the world, so people have those. Also, before we get started on the episode, shout out to my t-shirt, y'all. I don't know if it was episode 1 or 2. I'm leaning more towards 1. Issa was standing up in the kitchen texting, and she had on this Waiting to Exhale t-shirt. And I was just like, need it. Like, that's my top 3 movies of all time. One of them is Waiting to Exhale. And I was like, I need that shirt. So I went and found it, and I will leave the link in the comments, or no, in the description box, or where you guys can find it if you're interested in getting you one. Okay, now let's get into the episode. So the episode starts off with Issa and Lawrence at the little neighborhood market, and he tells her, you know, I got the job, which of course we knew he's gonna get the job. I mean, once you get that second interview and it goes really well, it's really like, you know, something wrong if you don't get the job. So I'm happy for him. You know, in season 1 we saw Lawrence in a totally different space than he is now. It was a total 180 from where he is right now. So let's give it up for the black brother doing things and just building his self-esteem along with his resume and his repertoire. He says he's gonna have an assistant, and they doing this and they doing that. They're gonna take care of him, and they talk about, well, what does this mean for us? Of course, Issa is ready to settle down. I think where Tiffany and Derek are right now, although they said, you know, Derek was like, we weren't trying to have kids for another couple of years, I think it's ultimately like where most of them want to see themselves in the near future. You know, settle down in a home, building a family. We're getting to that age. Like, once you get to 31, 32, if that's just not your plan to have a family, like, the clock is ticking for everybody, not just the women because of our ovaries and our eggs. The men too, like, we want to settle down. And Issa's like, of course, you know, it's not a deal breaker. First of all, it's a 45-minute plane ride, and who knows, you know, I can come out there with you to the Windy City. No, man. That's definitely Chicago. But she's like, yeah, I don't see why not. Like, I just want to have good, positive things and people in my life, and one of those things and people is you. I think that Lawrence is a little surprised by the vulnerability and maturity that he's getting from Issa, because they played it so cold with each other before they broke it off officially, and the way it kind of broke off was such a not cool way to break up, like with cheating and all of that. So this whole new space they're in, it's kind of like, okay, I can get used to this, but damn, this you? Like, I think he was kind of taken aback by that. Communicating will always keep you guys on the same page, and that's what they want to be. They want to be on the same page. Next scene comes, and it's Molly and Andrew at her work event, and we all do that. We talk so much junk about the people at work. Our partner can basically come into a space with them and be like, oh, that's them right there. And that was cute for them. I kind of got the sense in that scene when she wanted to go to the next spot with her coworkers and he didn't, that where they got to in their next scene was coming. I had been sensing this though since, I think, even before the Mexico episode. What was that, episode 8 or 7? Like, Andrew getting tired of Molly ass. And I mean, I understand why, you know. He is a beta male. I just learned that term. Where, you know, we have alpha males, alpha females, the dominant personality, and then you have the beta, who is kind of like the go with the flow person, who is the supporter, the supportive role. I'll do what you say, I'll follow your lead. And generally, you would reserve that role for a female, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But generally, that's what you reserve that role for. It's for the woman in the relationship. So when the man is taking on the beta role, it can kind of be uncomfortable if that's not, even if he's a beta male, if he's feeling like that's being like exploited and taken advantage of, I can very well see him getting tired of that shit. Like, I do everything you want me to do. But hold that thought, because they haven't gotten there yet. So Issa goes to Nathan's barbershop, and them niggas wasn't paying her no mind. Now, if she would have had her ass hanging out and her boobs out and had a Instagram model figure, they'd have been like, hey, sister, looking like Sister Soldier. That's like, she's like, oh, what you say, they tired? Either they tired or they busy. Whatever. So they go to the back, they see the space. Nathan is, you know, Nathan doing his work, okay? You can tell that Nathan is working in a very healthy mind space right now as far as his mental health. And he just tells her straight out, my bad. I probably overstepped. I shouldn't have said that about your ex. And basically, we can be friends. Like, you don't have to worry about me doing too much, and don't feel like you can't be friendly or normal with me because I'm feeling the way, because I'm not. I'll get over it. You know, in that moment I was in my feelings, but like, I like you as a friend and as a person, so you don't have to worry about that. Which was super mature, and Issa was receptive. And I don't see what they're gonna do with this space, but I guess we'll see. It looked like an old classroom or something to me. Even though it's like a beauty salon space, it just didn't give. She can make an aesthetic though. She is TV. They can make an aesthetic. Nathan just gets to talking with that deep baritone in his voice. But I don't care if he's saying cream cheese Philly. Like, it just be like, that voice, that baritone. It just takes you to another place. And then we get back into the scene with Andrew and Molly. So they've returned from hanging out with their co-workers, and he's like, he wants to watch Looking for Latoya, or Mr. Latoya, or whatever it is. And she's like, no, you can't watch it without me. And while like that's a sweet thing to do, I'm kind of like that, like with Andrew. Like, I mean, I'll watch it again, but I'm not finna, because you say, you know what, you tired. Okay, so now I gotta go to sleep because you tired. Like, it's too much. She dragging him around like a Raggedy Andy doll. He tells her, you know, he kind of getting sick of always, you know, oh, I'm on your schedule. Okay, I'll do what you say. She's, okay, passive aggressive. When I was working, now I'm bringing to my work stuff. And it's just like, girl, you cannot reason with this man about his feelings. And that's something that people just have to learn. You cannot change someone's feelings about their experiences in life. You may not have had that intention on how they have perceived it or felt about it, but you can't convince them that it's wrong. And it's really demeaning and belittling to tell somebody they're wrong about their feelings. Like, you're not in his body. You don't have his heart in his mind. Anyway, then Kelly calls. And when Kelly called and kept calling, I kind of knew something was up. And I think all along we've probably been waiting for Tiffany to have this moment, but heart went out to her. So in the next scene, all the girls show up to Derek and Tiffany's, and Derek is like, she's missing. And they're like, you know, he's calling around, he's frantic, and he's looking for her. He's like, she said she needed a break. We knew at the block party that Tiffany needed a break, okay? The babysitter called, said the baby was crying. Tiffany was like, you just go, okay? And Derek is such a supportive spouse. I was watching another show that I loved yesterday, and it was the husband with the baby and the grandmother, the mother-in-law. And she was like, wow, my husband would never change diapers and stuff like that. And it's like, look, it's 2020. This is a collaborative effort. I didn't make this baby by myself. All hands on deck. You hear me? And Derek very much supplies that. But even with all the help that she has, babysitters, nannies, a supportive spouse, Postpartum is not something you have control of. I really thank God I didn't have that experience. I have my moments of being overwhelmed, especially with my new baby, because I have a toddler and a newborn, and I was like potty training with a newborn, and it got overwhelming. But I'm just grateful to God that the chemistry and the chemicals in my brain didn't allow me to like go over the edge into postpartum. But I feel for Tiffany. Tiffany checked the fuck out on me. I'm like, bitch, I gotta go. And she went to the movies. That's the same thing I would have did. I wouldn't have went to the movies. They go look for her and they all split up, and it's super awkward with Issa and Miley, and it's gonna be until they have that heart-to-heart conversation that they need to have. They start rehashing all the things that they think she could be doing and where she could be, and she said they had a Cinco de Mayo. You mean to tell me y'all do Cinco de Mayo for a week? This is the most lit girl group ever. Like, I need to put me a girl tribe together like them. And then Issa starts talking about how her analytics as a Lyft driver. It's just like, how far away is that? How long did they say? What was the rate? Oh, this is where she at. And she pieced that shit right on together. They go to the restaurant. They're like, oh yeah, I don't remember. And they said, I don't really care about this job. It be like that for real. And they check the cameras, which is super nice of them. And they see that she got on the bus. She gets on the bus, Kelly gets on the phone. The white man on the bus was a little too creepy. That's that LA life though. And they're just tracking her down. Then Derek has his moment. I felt, my heart went out to Derek. Derek was like, I didn't realize it was as bad. He was like, I knew she wasn't happy, but I didn't know she was like, run away from me, don't answer my phone calls, unhappy. And it's hard to articulate that when you're someone like Tiffany who has it all together, who always puts her best foot forward. It's hard to say I'm failing at this, or even if I'm not failing, I don't like this. As a new mom, you know, you get so excited when you find out you're about to have a baby, and then when the baby gets there, you're not enjoying it. That could be a lot to admit. Even when I would feel overwhelmed, I would try to push myself to not be that way, because you don't want to seem like ungrateful. You don't want it to be perceived as if you regret having your child. But sometimes you need a break. And that's all she needed. But Derek just feels so bad that he didn't recognize it, you know. And sometimes when we're so used to someone having it all together and being so strong, we don't recognize when they're having low moments in their life, and we don't take them as serious as we should. I really like that they touched on it, and that it wasn't in this like overly dramatic, overdone way. Postpartum is often depicted as like in a smelly robe for 6 days, not happy, in a dark room. And while that can be very true, I really feel Tiffany like, shit, I'd rather run away than stay in a sticky, nasty robe all day. Like, let me go have some me time, child. Go stay in a hotel for a night. Like, that's very much so a postpartum look too. That's, if I felt that way and overwhelmed in that way, shit, I hop on Priceline and give me a room, honey. Then they trying to get off the bus because she at the Sheraton. Kelly then called around and found her girl. I just love the friend that Kelly is with all of them. She holds you accountable. She's straightforward. And bitch, if you come up missing, I'm gonna use my best detective skills to find you. So they figure out she's at the Sheraton and they're passing up on the bus. And the old man, while all the old people on Insecure got that drama, the old man won't stop the bus. Kelly pressed the button. He gonna call the police. The police did not want none of that. And I feel like in that moment, black lives definitely mattered. Why you all up on us? Because we black. That man said, not me, not today. All y'all go home. Thank you. And if you. He just, look, y'all not finna have me on the night 6 o'clock news talking about I was racially profiling y'all. They get to the room, they find her, and it was just the most vulnerable, sweet moment. Who is it? It's me, baby. Like, and she couldn't say nothing. It's just like, I'm sorry, I just need time. But they really need to get her some resources and help. Cutscene, we go into the best cinematography. They have some really good cinematography on this show. They show the mural of Gigi and Kobe, and it's just so vibrant and colorful. And then they go to the mural on the basketball court with Nipsey, and then they show the Hollywood Hills, and it's just like, yes, do this, black people, this black art. And then Molly goes back home and she's talking to Andrew. And at this point, you know, she's on this whole, no, we need to talk about it now or it'll only get worse. She learned that her lesson from playing around with Issa and not communicating. And Andrew just keeps in one thought, like, maybe this ain't gonna work out. Cause you know, I've been feeling this way. This just ain't happening at your work mixer. Like, I'm tired of catching to you. And I knew that shit with his brother. Like, sis, you cannot beef with a family, especially not no brother. Like, you'll go before the brother go. Okay? Maybe they're not a good match. And she's just like, no, really trying to insist that they make it work. Let's go to therapy. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's kind of like, what are you fighting for? And he asked her that, like, why are you fighting so hard for this relationship? What is it? And honestly, she just don't want to fail. I don't know if it's necessarily just about being with Andrew. Because don't get me wrong, Andrew's a great guy, but he's a beta male. And Molly is going to run all over him. You know, that's not going to be a good situation for either of them in the end, because he's going to grow to resent her if he stays around, and that's just what it is. And she's going to continue to take him for granted and push him around the longer he stays. Like, she doing this shit in the first 6 months. Imagine 6 years from now, he ain't gonna have no voice. Shit, he gonna be Tina, she gonna be Ike. Like, nah, it ain't worth it. He's just like, you know, why do you want this? And she don't want Issa to be right. Look, if the shit don't work out with y'all, it ain't gonna be because of me. Ding, ding, ding. It's not. Your attitude, the way you treat people, you really need to check that. And he tells her that before, in the scene before, when they're arguing, she's like, I let shit go all the time. Sis, where? No. Her idea of letting shit go and moving on is totally skewed, sis, because you are the ultimate grudge holder, okay? Like, no. I don't know who told you that, but they lied. And then Lawrence comes over, scene change, to Issa's, and he just looked like a little lost, sad puppy. He looks worried, he looks guilty, he looks shamed, and then dun dun dun. Look, episode 9, was it episode 9 or episode 8? When they were on their date, people were buzzing about the fact that Condola might be pregnant. This bitch is pregnant. And I said she wasn't pregnant because they're too old to be irresponsible and accidentally make a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're, okay, y'all, my camera cut off because the car was full. But anyway, I got my back up. You know, just where they are in life, you don't just be having no babies by accident with people you barely even dating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't expecting that from them. I wanted them to be more responsible than that. I'm like, nah, she ain't pregnant. Like, Condola just not out here getting pregnant and she divorced and shit like that. Like, she been through too much life experience to just be out here getting pregnant. And the ultimate salty ass rebut and question afterwards, Lauren's gonna ask her, are you sure it's mine? Like, bruh. That, for me, that's gonna get you cussed out by Simone. Like, are you what, boy? But I guess you have to ask those questions when you are not with somebody and y'all are not in a committed relationship. I get it. Also, the way this scene was shot, going back and forth between Issa and filling in the blanks with him and Condola, I loved it. Because the whole time I'm like, and what did she say? And then the scene changed and we see what the bitch had to say. So, yeah, she's just like, you know, she wasn't planning on it. She wasn't ready before with her ex-husband. She's always wanted children. And look, I get it. Abortion is not for everybody. I don't have anything against it. I'm very much so pro-choice. But for me, if I had ever gotten pregnant before I settled down and started having my kids in my committed relationship, I probably would not have gotten an abortion. Just because emotionally, I'm such an emotional person, I don't think I can handle that. And I'm with, you know, Condola. It's really not about you. If I gotta be a single mom, I'm prepared for that. So you can be as involved as you want to be, but I'll be fine. Say that again. That's the only thing I felt that Condola had to say. The only thing she had to say that whole scene that I was on track with. Like, I support you in that, sis. But just the whole situation, I feel so bad for Issa. I would feel bad for Lawrence. Because that's one of those situations where, you know, Lawrence is a good guy at the end of the day. He's not going to let her raise that baby by herself. He has to be involved in his child's life. But he doesn't want that baby. People are continually having this argument. Like she has no right to child support or any expectation from him because he is not you know, wanting to move forward with the pregnancy. But at the moment you ejaculate, when you guys are having sex, you give up that choice because there is a big chance that life can be made through this ejaculation, and that's just what it is. You have now created a life that you now have to take care of, and you better be prepared for that. And he's prepared for it in a number of ways, but emotionally and where he at with Issa, he not prepared for that. So now there's two things that could be possibly a deal breaker for Issa: the long distance relationship and the fact that he's somebody baby daddy, but like the baby is in the womb. And then how will her and Condola move forward in their relationship? If he and Issa choose to be together in this committed relationship and she's like stepmom to this child, I mean, in a perfect world, it could work. And they could get along well and they can raise this baby in this, you know, healthy co-parenting way. But it's going to, y'all, season 5 gonna be lit. Okay? Because this situation is just so complex. And while we were all teasing on it and like, oh, is Condola pregnant? Now we know. And so now what's the solution? How do we move forward? Child, Issa was so stressed, she had to smoke a bleeding. She had to roll her a little joint. And I do not blame her. Like she told him, this is way too much. It is. We just now getting back on track and, you know, all these bumps in the road. But that is what's going to prove, you know, whether or not this is a relationship that's worth it for either of them. Can we work through this? Are we willing to work through this? Drop down in the comments. Let me know. Do y'all think Issa is going to stick around and wait and be supportive of this baby and this career move and all of that? Or are we going to open up next season and Issa going to be with Nathan? Or somebody else, some other nice looking young black actor. I don't know, it just it makes me just feel all kind of ways. And then the next thing opens up and it's the preview from last week's episode for this week, and she's walking up on somebody like, hey, at a restaurant, and of course it's Molly. I knew it would be. And they're at the Ethiopian spot and they're just in a very deep-seated conversation that should have happened episode 1 or 2, but I would have loved to hear what they talked about. I think what I took away from that closing scene too, what it alluded to me, is everything is not a read. Like when you're talking to your best friend, and even though y'all might be heated in the moment or making snide comments, it's like, girl, I know you. I knew that shit with Andrew was not gonna work, and it was gonna be your fault because I know you. I'm not reading you, sis. I just know you. Yeah, Issa, your shit don't always have to be messy, but look what a mess Issa is involved in right now in getting back with Lawrence. Like, I'm not reading you, sis. I know you, and I'm sorry if I know you so well that I can foresee where you are headed down this wrong road. Y'all, season 4 was amazing. Low-key everything. I really enjoyed it. I was so satisfied with the 10 episodes. By now, y'all, we can just stop asking for more than 30 minutes because we're never gonna get it. But the small doses are enough. You know, for me, they are. I enjoy them. Shout out to Issa Rae and all of the cast of actors. Love that a lot of them were able to get behind the lens and direct. Shout out to Jay Ellis and Natasha Rockwell, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the wind down afterwards, the little conversations. This episode, it was Tiffany's character, Amanda Seales, and I always wonder how Amanda and Issa get along in real life, because Amanda Seales is a lot like a whole lot. Her mouth big. But yeah, it was a great season, guys. Thank you for sticking around with me. I gained a lot of followers and views in doing these reviews on Insecure, and we're just gonna keep rolling, finding something else to watch and offering you guys more content. There's so many other things that I have on my mind that I want to share with you guys. I just need to get them out and just purge them from my mind, and that's my plan. I had a little hiccup this month, but I'm ready to roll. So please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, Insecure. For a little while, not forever. Y'all, this shirt lit. I can't wait to wear this. I haven't worn it yet. I just want to wear it for the video first, for the finale video. I've had it for a little while, but I can't wait to wear it out in public. I don't know how I'm gonna style it though. Okay, I'm going for real now. Bye.